Welcome everyone to the October edition of MIPA's Wild Wednesday webinars. Today I'm very excited to offer us Jay Donlin. Jay's a former executive with top 40 distributor Newton Manufacturing. Many of you know him from various stints in the industry, including the Donlin rep group. He's also been very involved in the recognition area, where he's the immediate past president of the Recognition Council, and he's currently the business development person for Recognition Works, a symbolic award company based out of St. Paul, Minnesota. Today's program is worth 1 CAS point. If you would like to receive a CAS credit for this course, just send an email to paul@mipa.org and I'll get the required information from you, such as your PIN number and PPAI identifier and so on. If you don't know your PIN number, no problem. Us executive directors have a way of working some magic with that. Without any further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Jay. Jay, take it away.
Thank you, Paul, and good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to thank our host, Michigan Promotional Products Association, for giving us this opportunity this morning. I'd also like to acknowledge our sponsor, Recognition Works, Inc., out of St. Paul, Minnesota. I'm very proud to be affiliated with such a great corporate award provider. Finally, I want to thank all of you for attending today. You taking time out of your schedule, I know it's difficult, but we really do appreciate having you with us. As Paul mentioned, this will be worth 1 CEU or CAS credit. But also want to just let you know that this presentation will be available on MIPA's website as well. So you don't have to necessarily take a lot of notes, but I will be giving some information that you want to track. So let's get started. It's personal: the brand, the consumer, and employee recognition. The real purpose of what I'm trying to accomplish today is to help position you as somebody who is knowledgeable and comfortable with approaching the recognition segment. There's a lot of content today, and we really are really limited to about a half hour today, and so I'm going to try and stay on script as much as I possibly can, move pretty quickly through the initial content, and then go into some more detail about how you can actually approach this really profitable business segment, and maybe even reposition yourself as somebody that goes into clients with great knowledge about recognition and rewards. So with that, let's get started. On the road to economic recovery, every consumer decision matters. Advertisers try to grab attention. Savvy consumers easily gather factual and anecdotal information. On the internet, budgets and product performance are weighed and purchases are made. Today, the brand relationship matters all along the way in consumer transactions. Does the consumer like the brand? Does he or she feel it delivers on the product promise? Does the customer service experience align with the brand's stated or implied value? It may seem like the same old story, but it really isn't. Recent studies show that underlying behaviors are changing radically in the digital age, and decisions are made based more on social drivers than ever before. Rather than the entire transaction ending with the purchase, today's consumers enter into an open-ended relationship with the brand, frankly sharing their experience online and by traditional word of mouth. All of these are recognizable brands, and there are a number of consumer brands in the marketplace. A company may have a very recognizable brand name and a great reputation, but if the employees don't deliver the company's brand promise each and every day, the reputation can be jeopardized literally in an instance with social media and other factors that play a role. Today's successful organizations are those that create and deepen personal relationships between the brand and the consumer. Many elements contribute to this relationship, overtaking the direct measure of product performance. Okay, so it's really more related on the personal relationship between the brand and the consumer than actually how that product is perceived in the marketplace. So companies that are creating brand ambassadors throughout the organization is really more critical than ever. So highly coveted customer loyalty relies on newly defined relationships. In this touchpoint environment, employee recognition can be a powerful tool to help strengthen a customer's relationship to the brand. Recognition promotes behaviors such as service, efficiency, discretionary effort on the part of the employee, strategically developing the emotional and social connection between the client and the organization. And based on that, you create a better bottom line for that company. So let's kind of take, just as an example, the purchase of a new automobile. You know, in the past, the sales experience revolved around an in-person visit to the dealership. You know, the minute you walk on the lot, somebody approaches you. That salesperson is going to approach you, start discussing features, advantages, benefits, taking you for a test drive, and then you get into the whole high-pressure sales pitch, which I think we've all been there. But the potential buyer and what he or she bought were most often a result of geography. So a dealership close to you, what the past experience has been, both with the brand and the sales organization. So, you know, a customer typically bought the same brand from a local dealership, largely based on information and experience obtained at that dealership. Today, a totally different scenario, where really the dealership was in control of the sale. Now the consumer is. And I probably don't need to tell you this, but it really truly is the dynamic that so many organizations are faced with. People have so much in-depth research about the vehicle from the internet, and the success of the sale is more dependent than ever on the accurate online information and on the discretionary efforts of employees along the decision chain. Today, a major purchase like a vehicle can be decided based on the degree of engagement of the employee who provides that information, who fields a single call, and really provides a specific interaction with that customer on a specific vehicle. So the new customer decision process requires that the point of contact be a positive experience. If the employees are enthusiastic, service-oriented, there's a far better chance they will help close the sale rather than lose it to another dealer just a mouse click away. As the forum, Business Results Through People, found in a study, downstream effects of employee attitudes and behaviors, it is an organization's employees who influence the behavior and attitudes of customers, and it's customers who drive an organization's profitability through the purchase and use of products. In the end, customers who are more satisfied with an organization's products are less expensive to serve, use the product more, and hence are more profitable customers. There is just a tremendous amount of empirical data out there today. And I'm going to provide you at the end of the presentation some websites that you can go to reinforce your message when you're in front of the client. Study, research, all kinds of confirming information, how powerful really recognition and rewards can be for a targeted customer. The Incentive Research Foundation. This is another organization that works in association with the Incentive Marketing Association. And they concluded in one of their surveys that all of an organization's stakeholders really need to be committed to and demonstrate the brand promise. Additionally, the successful organization will create reward and recognition programs that produce behavior supporting that goal. The survey offered that organizations that deliver truly outstanding customer support will be the winners in the new economy. So customers expect more of an experience that reflects a product or service and marketing promise. Moreover, every employee is responsible for marketing. People's attitudes and actions define the authenticity of the brand. Progressive companies are embracing the notion that the intersection of the customer and employee is often the moment of truth for the value proposition, and they are designing reward and recognition programs that reinforce the desired result. So delivering the brand promise. This is just a little graph that kind of talks about where the intersection comes between employees and customers and the aspiration to deliver on a unique selling proposition. Essentially, it's the promise kept is where employees intrinsically the company's unique selling proposition and aspire to deliver that brand promise in everything they do. So trying to create recognition as part of an organization and their culture is something that is significant. It's very, very important these days. Again, the Incentive Research Foundation proposed best principles of recognition programs must include multiple forms of rewards, since what works for one employee might not suit another. So here are some key factors. Develop a recognition strategy that rewards activities linked to specific business objectives and desired cultural values. Use both formal and informal recognition to build a culture of recognition. Provide a wide variety of recognition rewards, realizing what is appropriate for one person might not be for another. Emphasize the recognition of increased quality in performance rather than simple quantity of effort. Recognize workers frequently. For years and years, service awards, have been starting at 5 years of service. That whole scenario has changed significantly. Truly, companies are recognizing people more often and sooner in their work-life history within an organization. Measure the cost of the recognition reward system and the benefits gained, whether through ROI or other methods. So again, make it something that's accountable to the people that are engaging in the programs. Again, I'm going to give you some details about where you can find additional information today. A lot of the content that you're seeing today was derived from the Recognition Council, which is a strategic industry group of the IMA. Another, real good group that's doing a lot of very good work is the Forum, Business Results Through People.org, at Northwestern University's School of Marketing. It's the Medill School of Marketing. And they're doing a lot of research, doing a lot of studies, and coming up with some just phenomenal results. You can go to their website and see a lot of these different case studies. So anyway, just one example here to share with you is that they found that insurance agents in the top quartile for agent engagement and customer ratings of the agent achieved over 4 times the account growth of agents not in the top quartile for either measure. Another case study involving customer service and wireless customer care, they found that even though they had a great focus on customer service, when they provided recognition and rewards and a program around really creating engagement, their results accelerated. So recognition can be really a great accelerator when added to a very viable program. Now, conversely, okay, those are examples where engagement paid off. Conversely, though, look at what happens when you have people that are disengaged. The disengagement to the national economy is probably about a $300 billion a year consideration. That's in comparison with businesses and units in the bottom 25%. So productivity, 50% higher success rate when people are engaged. Employee turnover is actually less. Profit is higher. Customer satisfaction is higher. With the amount of empirical data out there, it's just amazing that any company would not have some form of recognition and reward program within their company. Absolutely hard to understand. So also from Gallup, look at the top reasons people are leaving. Yes, okay, compensation. Somebody needs to make more money. Understandable. They have better opportunities. Certainly that's going to be the top reason. But following that, lack of recognition was rated as the second most viable reason why somebody leaves a company. So pretty important information. So again, the power of engagement. A lot of times companies will realize people are not engaged in their work, but they really don't know how to handle it. They don't know what to do. They look at ways to, perhaps, move the employee into other roles, responsibilities, potentially look for them to maybe even leave the company. But the fact of the matter is engaged and disengaged workers, even if they have equal skills, knowledge, and ability, they do not contribute equally to the company. Engaged workers are significantly more productive. Moreover, when they interact with customers, they're more likely to create relationships that generate loyalty and increase business. So again, 84% of highly engaged employees believe they can positively impact the quality of their company's products, compared to 31% of disengaged. 72% of the highly engaged believe they can have a positive outcome on customer service. And then 68% believe they can positively impact costs in their job unit versus 19% of those disengaged folks. So again, a lot of research. So total alignment here. Employee engagement and customer engagement are both driven by the fundamentals of the organization. For both levels to be high and stay high, an organization needs a solid culture and value system that supports ingredients necessary for engagement. So what this requires, folks, is that everybody needs to embrace this. Senior leaders have to walk the walk, talk the talk, walk the halls, demonstrate their commitment to employee engagement. Managers must be selected and developed with employees and customer, with engagement in mind, and they must be held accountable through total rewards and performance management strategies. Those strategies all have to align with, the desired behaviors, the goals, the outcomes that the organization is striving to accomplish. Employees must also be made partners in this whole process. So today's business environment is a challenging one, no doubt, to be sure. And organizations must approach their brand reputation very strategically. In order, to directly protect and strengthen the brand at every touch point, it makes good business sense to consider employee satisfaction, recognition, and engagement as a means to improve customer satisfaction and business results. Recognition promotes behaviors such as service, efficiency, discretionary effort. All of these fine things are very important in strengthening the bottom line. A well-designed program that aligns employee behavior with brand values can go a long way towards achieving critical business information. And no, Mr. Flynn, you cannot start heckling now. Engagement equals customer satisfaction. This particular chart is something, I guess, that, again, you can take some time to review it at a later date. But essentially, it's just talking about things that are drivers to create engagement within the workforce. Today's top companies, interestingly enough, they're not just talking about engagement. Engagement is something that is driven by the organization that's tried to really be impressed upon the employee to kind of get involved with those initiatives that are being driven by the company. In fact, what's really happening out there is that there is a real desire on behalf of people entering the workforce today that they're looking for a more meaningful experience. They're looking for an organization that aligns with their moral principles, their goals, their philosophies. And so really what organizations are seeking to do is actually create enrichment for a new employee. How can we enrich your life? How can we make your work-life history with our organization something that is rewarding, it's meaningful, and goes way beyond just the salary that you're making? So that's kind of what we're looking at. And so these types of programs only reinforce that type of desired outcome when somebody joins a company. So with so much empirical data, so much information related to the benefits of employee recognition, I mean, now is the time to capture it. It has never been a better environment. I mean, I've seen a lot of things go full circle as it relates to, different types of strategies, different types of products, merchandise versus symbolic awards, those kinds of things. But it's full circle. It truly is something that if you develop a comprehensive program, you're going to get great results. And I'm going to share with you that I truly believe that for every dollar you invest in learning about recognition strategies, programs, opportunities, you're going to receive $2 back. So engagement is real critical to drive business in this economy, obviously. In the end, a commitment to employee recognition rewards coupled with an investment on part of the company and the management can generate a significant payoff. So again, just some of the details. Engaged employees make a significant contribution. They lead to more profitability. recognizing employees and those that receive rewards and recognition become more engaged. Employees who feel valued stay with the company and are measurably more productive. Engaged employees foster customer satisfaction and customer loyalty. Companies with recognition and reward programs outperform their competition. I mean, the list just goes on. And this 2010 study showed that engaged employees increased earnings by 28%, which is absolutely staggering, but a true statistic. The same study showed that companies with low employee engagement experienced declines of 11%. So hopefully I'm arming you with some great details where you feel very comfortable in approaching your clients and trying to become a recognition expert and to influence your importance to them through designing and developing these types of platforms. So if I were to go out into the marketplace today, knowing what I know about the promotional industry, the recognition, rewards, incentives business, I seriously would consider completely repositioning myself, rebrand myself, so that I would go to market as somebody that was a recognition professional. I think that, currently there's very few promotional products distributors that go out in that manner. Corporations are looking for ways to consolidate their spend during program implementation. It's all about communication. And what better medium is there than promotional products to promote a program or strategy within that company? So you're going to get those promotional sales. You're going to get those additional sales, and you're going to create a lot of awareness and generate enthusiasm around the program. So assisting companies with their culture, their performance will provide your company with additional revenue, not just through a very lucrative segment, recognition rewards, but also fulfillment programs or other core promotional business. So again, those are my 2 cents on positioning going forward. So let's get into kind of understanding the recognition segment, and we can move a little bit quicker here, but I think there's some confusion in the marketplace as to what recognition, awards, rewards, and incentives are. And primarily at the corporate level, they don't understand necessarily the differences. So this will kind of help you understand how to explain that to them. Recognition, how an organization commemorates an accomplishment, years of service, employee of the year, and outstanding achievement are examples of recognition. Typically, recognition is a public process done in front of the recipient's peers. Recognition can be non-material, pat on the back, just saying, hey, great job, job well done, verbal message. But most of the time, there's a material symbolic award that would go along with the accomplishment. That way, the recipient has a lasting memento. The peers see, somebody being recognized. They're, I guess, really inclined to do the same kind of things so that they're also recognized. It really carries forward throughout the organization. Awards now are tangible things that are given to participants who attain goals. Most often are non-branded, and often the thing handed out at the end of a sales contest or a quality improvement initiative. Television sets, watches, travel awards are highly sought after. Awards must have a perceived value that motivates a participant to attain his or her goals. They should be accompanied by recognition, a certificate, or what have you, but rarely do they include them. Rewards now are the carrots that organizations use to influence clients. I don't know how many of you remember Pepsi Get Stuff, but basically the more you consume, the more you drink, the more opportunities that you gain points and have the ability to get stuff by being, loyal customer of Pepsi. But again, these are items, they're probably non-branded. They have perceived value to entice consumers to be loyal, to buy more product. Rewards are almost always externally focused, focusing on the organization's customer or consumers. Recognition is rarely presented with this, but maybe as a customer service initiative, recognition awards could be tied into this as well. Now, finally, incentives are defined as offering made by the company that create a short-term opportunity for me to get something by doing something. The company may be my own or any that I do business with. The get can be financial or material. The doing can be related to my job, my purchasing habits, or interactions with others. Also, an incentive must be outside my normal workload or consumption habits and must be short-term in nature to have an impact on me. So with that clarification, let's get into some other types of awards that are essential in developing a very comprehensive, meaningful program. Service awards. Listen, every company wants one. If they don't have one, well, I'll tell you what, they need to have one. And they realize that. If they have an existing program, there's a way to capitalize on working with people by making it more fresh, going from merchandise to symbolic awards, and creating some other fun things around service awards, tying programs together, point-driven programs that can add on top of service awards so they can collect those to earn merchandise or whatever it might be. When done right, the right recognition strategy, and with the right presentation, 10-year programs are a perfect opportunity to recognize every employee in the organization. Everybody's got a birthday, everybody's got an anniversary, great opportunity to recognize people. Fun retirement, you know, people that have dedicated their work-life history to an organization. Very good idea to recognize those folks. They know that they're appreciated, demonstrates to others that their efforts have not gone unnoticed, and that they really appreciate the dedication and support that they've provided the organization over the year. So, good idea to have some type of formal gathering, allow the individual to speak about their history, have others speak about them. I mean, again, this is an opportunity to create an emotional bond between employees and the organization. You just have to take advantage of it. Informal recognition is one you're hearing a lot about these days, okay? So, you know, according to Gallup, again, high performers, performing workplaces had one common element. Their manager had recognized members within the last 7 days. So again, talk about that frequency. You know, often, you know, you have to make recognition a part of just your daily experience. Day-to-day recognition moments are simple acts that generate big returns. Birthday, peer-to-peer programs are great examples. Show gratitude often. Say thank you. Use thank you notes. Special parking spot. Even a pat on the back. All of those types of things are very effective in creating employee engagement. What you're seeing now is a lot of companies are developing platforms that are essentially employee-facing daily interactions where, you know, you can have top-down recognition, bottom-up, peer-to-peer, recognize people for just doing things great, whether it's participating in a meeting, doing a great job on a project, volunteering their time outside of the workplace. All of those kinds of things are significant. So use and show gratitude often. Performance recognition. This kind of goes above and beyond the thank you for a job well done. This is a little bit more strategic, but recognizing people upon setting performance goals and getting people to align their behaviors that support the company's strategy in the marketplace is pretty darn effective as well. So recognition may come in the form of simple note, appreciation of public ceremony, or presentation of a quality award. But again, event marketing, travel incentives, those kinds of things, remember, have kind of come under fire recently. So you have to be a little bit knowledgeable about not making this something that seems like it's a perk and something that isn't really tied to a strategy, because those kinds of things have been a little bit under fire these days. Okay, now for a real big category that should be part of any comprehensive recognition strategy, that's wellness, safety, and then other programs that kind of help an organization meet the criteria of government regulations, you know, and accelerating health costs. So a comprehensive recognition strategy helps foster the commitment of employees. With the high cost of insurance and increased regulation, many companies are making health, wellness, and safety major priorities within their organization. You know, again, employees can be recognized for anything. You know, they set the criteria, this is what you need to do, and this is how you'll be recognized. But again, it could be for diet, exercise, those kinds of habits that are going to drive down insurance costs. These types of programs implemented will depend on the desired culture and goals of the organization. Again, it's always important, it's always a good idea to recognize people publicly. And, you know, doing so really creates a great environment within the company. Probably don't need to spend too much time on this particular segment. All of you probably are aware of the fact that compensation is a right, recognition is a gift. When cash is always a reward, employees tend to treat the award as part of their normal compensation. Okay, it's perceived as an entitlement. When this happens, they become dependent on the reward income, and the pride associated with recognition for special accomplishments is lost. It is easy for money to become the only motivator that gets the attention of the employees, and therefore the only way to, that productivity and performance are improved. It's very diminished, so probably don't need to do anything more in that area. Appreciate people often, and you will gain their loyalty and dedication. You will capture their hearts and minds, and again, create a great environment in doing so. I'm not going to spend a lot of time with regard to gift cards, but you probably see these out in the marketplace. Oh, we're just using gift cards this year, so on and so forth. And my gosh, not personal, lack emotion. They provide no memory value. They typically are unredeemed. In fact, gift cards historically have had about a 22% breakage factor. So in other words, 22% are not redeemed. And then low ROI. It just really is not something that generates or drives anybody to do more. So again, I'd really encourage you to get folks off of that type of program. I see that we have run over our time. We just have a few more minutes. I'm going to go ahead and continue, but understand if you've got other commitments. But I just want to share one quick case study. Safeco Insurance out west, before they were acquired by Liberty Mutual, they had initiated a program where the president said, boy, we really need to have a service award program, and what I'd like to do is create something for our employees that are tenured with the company. HR took this and decided that they're going to go out and get American Express gift cards from $50 to $500 and implement this new program. Well, guess what? What was well-intended became a real blemish on the president of the company, primarily for two reasons. Number one, all that are stated here, but number two, all the employees received 1099s based on this gift that was supposedly well-intended. Don't need to tell you that kind of program just doesn't work. We were actually able to take a symbolic award, couple it with a gift card, package it beautifully, and we actually turned it from being a taxable occurrence to a non-taxable occurrence under IRS 274J. I'll give you more information on that as well. But anyway, long story short, no gift cards, no gift cards. Okay, decision makers, sales opportunities. Boy, you probably know about these, but in the sales department, that's the easy one. You know about new accounts, high profit margins. But decision makers over in the marketing area, you might not think about it. By the way, are all of you recognizing your top customers? Are you then encouraging them to do the same thing? Very nice way to create and drive customer loyalty. I think you need to get on board with that if you're not doing that. In the management area, operations, team leaders, performance management, increase employee engagement, improve production, improve process procedures, all of those are recognition opportunities. At the executive level, mission, vision statements, corporate values, all of these are recognition ideas and concepts that you can integrate into an effective recognition strategy. HR, we all know about tenure, retirement, employee wellness, increase employee loyalty. And then on safety, we kind of covered this again. This is a little redundant, but lost time, safety awareness, reduce injuries, accidents, those kinds of productivity and quality. So training certification might be another area. So again, another quick little thing here on a recap. These are discovery questions, folks, which you can read at a later date. But does the company currently have recognition programs in process? If so, what are the objectives of the program? Who's responsible? What are some of the company's visible goals? Where is there most challenge in keeping employees? Does the company sponsor any events? Would the company like to know what other corporations like theirs are doing in the way to motivate and recognize their employees? By the way, I just want to let you know, you can reach out to me anytime at Recognition Works, and I can share with you what companies like Starbucks and American Express are doing for their recognition programs. So feel free to call me at Recognition Works, and I can provide that information to you. And then, again, this is just, another takeaway real quick. Clearly define values, behaviors, communicate and encourage employees' actions to generate positive customer reviews. Ensure that expected behaviors are clearly communicated to the customer service team. Recognize, reward, reinforce customer service. Instill in every employee a sense of responsibility. Ensure that the response to the customer's decision to purchase exemplifies organizational values. Recognize behaviors which create the loop of ongoing desired employee behavior and customer satisfaction. Encourage employees to monitor social media for customer reviews and use organizations' websites for social media to formalize customer feedback. And then finally, create a recognition program to help reinforce customer bonds within the organization, its product or service. So last thing that I just want to mention to you that effective recognition and reward programs are actually tax deductible to the corporation up to $1,600 per employee per year. So with that, I'll close, and Paul, I'll turn it back over to you.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Jay, and thank you, Recognition Works, for sponsoring today's program. Very informative, and what a huge opportunity for our distributors out there. According to International Data Corp, the employee recognition industry is a $19.7 billion industry in 2011, and is growing at an 8% growth rate. So they're predicting it will be a $29 billion industry by 2016. And we have a lot of tools in our toolbox that can help companies looking to build great cultures, because it's not about selling stuff. What you're really doing is helping recruit, retain, develop a culture, and going beyond that popular word engagement. Jay touched on it. Companies that get it are really talking about employee enrichment and how to enrich employees' lives. This program has been recorded, and I will be posting it on MIPA's Facebook site later today when the recording gets rendered by AnyMeeting.com. Would like to welcome all of you back next month. Our Wild Wednesday webinar is going to be moving up a week in November and December due to the holidays. So our next one is November 20, and it's very much related to the same topic. I will personally be presenting my presentation, which I was trained by Gallup organization to do, and it's along the same lines. It's called How Full is Your Bucket? And it's about how to create positive emotions in the workplace in order to create great cultures and generate peak performance from people. Also would like to mention that if you would like to get CAS credit for today's program, PPAI has approved Jay's program for 1 CAS point, and you can get that by just shooting an email to me asking me to submit it to PPAI on your behalf. My email address is paul@mipa.org. That's paul@mippa.org. So once again, thank you, Jay. If anyone needs a copy of the presentation, you can either contact Jay directly or, again, paul@mipa.org, and I'll be happy to send you a copy of the PowerPoint as well. Jay, do you have any closing comments?
I do. I just want to thank everyone again and apologize for rushing through the material, but I did say that, Paul, I would leave some web addresses for people to go out and do some research. The first one is the Recognition Council. That's found at recognitioncouncil.org. If you would like to go out to Recognition Professionals International, that's recognition.org. The forum, that's businessresultstthroughpeople.org. And then, of course, you have the Incentive Marketing Association, and that's also a .org, incentivemarketingassociation.org. So, again, thanks, everyone.
All right. Thank you, Jay. And Kevin, yes, now you may start heckling. Thanks a lot. We'll see everybody next month.
Bye now.